What if the way that you are thinking about your OCD is actually keeping it going? OCD isn't just about intrusive thoughts and compulsions. It's also about the beliefs and thinking patterns that shape how you respond to the intrusive thoughts. And sometimes, without even realizing it, these patterns make OCD even stronger. In this video, I am breaking down the key thinking patterns that fuel OCD, how they influence your experience, and most importantly, how you can start shifting them to regain back control. And stick around to the end where I'm going to be sharing some practical strategies to manage these patterns and reduce their impact on your symptoms. Welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Liz White, a consultant, clinical psychologist, and anxiety and OCD specialist. If you find this video helpful, please do take a moment to like and subscribe. Your support helps spread awareness to those who need it. So what do I mean by thinking patterns? So what I'm referring to here is the underlying beliefs that we hold, sometimes without even realizing it. And these beliefs shape how we interact with and interpret the world around us. So imagine wearing a pair of tinted glasses without even realizing it. These lenses help subtly shape how you see the world and influencing how you interpret the intrusive thoughts. Some lenses magnify your fears, some distort reality, and some lenses make thoughts seem much more important than they actually are. And the key to gaining clarity is to recognize that the lenses exist, because once you do, you can start adjusting them or even take them off. So let's talk about the main thinking patterns that are associated with OCD. So research has identified 6 types of beliefs that contribute to the development and maintenance of OCD symptoms. And these beliefs tend to converge together to form 3 belief domains. The first is inflated responsibility and overestimation of threats. The second is importance and control of thoughts. And the third is perfectionism and intolerance of uncertainty. So let's take a closer look at each one in turn and how they impact OCD. Inflated responsibility is the belief that you have the power or even the obligation to prevent bad things from happening. And this often goes hand in hand with overestimation of threat or harm. And this is where you over-exaggerate the possibility of harm or danger. Now, these types of beliefs are really closely linked to checking compulsions. So let's look at an example. Imagine someone with contamination fears. They might worry that stepping on rubbish in the street has meant that they've brought a disease into their home. And when they get home, they have the intrusive thought, my shoes have brought something in from outside that are going to harm my family and make them sick. And to ease this anxiety, they might shower several times or even throw their shoes away. Now, in this case, they've overestimated a threat, believing that their shoes pose a serious risk. They've inflated their sense of responsibility, feeling personally accountable for their family's well-being. As a result, compulsions develop as a way to prevent perceived harm. Because when you feel overly responsible for preventing harm, compulsions can seem like the only solution. And if you want to know a bit more about contamination OCD, then go and check my latest video out. So moving on to importance and control of thoughts. Now, 2 beliefs that often go hand in hand are importance of thoughts. And this is the idea that simply having a thought means that it's really important and that you have to pay attention to it. And then linked to that is the need to control your thoughts. So the belief that you should be able to control all of your thoughts, but particularly your intrusive thoughts. And that failing to do so means that something is wrong or that you're bad in some way. And this belief domain is quite closely linked to mental compulsions such as rumination or mental checking. So let's take the example of harm-related intrusive thoughts. Let's say that somebody has a fear that they may suddenly lash out at someone, and they have the intrusive thought or perhaps an intrusive image of doing so. Now, that person might believe that the mere presence of that thought, of that image in their mind is really significant. It means that they might do it. And if this person believes that they really should be controlling their thoughts, they may try to suppress those thoughts or neutralize them in some way, perhaps by mentally reviewing their actions, going through their memories, or repeating positive thoughts to try and counteract the original intrusive thought, or maybe even avoiding situations where they feel they might lose control. But here's the truth: an intrusive thought is just an intrusive thought. And the more you try to control them, the more power it gains. So lastly, let's talk about perfectionism and intolerance of uncertainty. Perfectionism in OCD is the belief that things need to be perfect, that there is a perfect way to do things, and that even small mistakes might mean serious consequences. And this often manifests in things like the symmetry and ordering subtype of OCD, in washing and checking compulsions. And overall, this is where actions must be performed in a particular way until they feel just right, or until things around you feel just right. Now, intolerance of uncertainty is when you find uncertainty unbearable. It's the belief that you have a poor capacity to deal with unpredictable change and that it's difficult to function adequately in ambiguous situations, and that it is absolutely necessary to be certain. So, for example, somebody with checking compulsions may feel compelled to check their windows and their doors at night. And even after checking multiple times, there is that flicker of doubt. But what if I missed one? And that drives the person to check again and again. And if they also struggle with that inflated sense of responsibility, the stakes are even higher. If I don't check properly and something bad happens, it will be all my fault. So, what can we do about these thinking patterns? So, if you recognize some of these thinking patterns in yourself, then here is a simple framework that I think will help. And it's called OLC. So, O is for observe. Increase your awareness of your thoughts and your beliefs. Let's face it, if you're going to change the lens on those glasses, you need to know that you're wearing glasses in the first place. So ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? The next step is label. Identify whether the thoughts that you're having fall into these unhelpful thinking patterns. Are you having thoughts related to perfectionism or intolerance of uncertainty or inflated responsibility? And if you are, you just say that, you just label it. You say, yeah, here is inflated responsibility. And the last step is choose. So here's the thing. You decide where to put your attention and your energy. You don't have to act on these thoughts, on these beliefs. I know that OCD does a really good job of convincing you that you do have to act on these intrusive thoughts or on these beliefs. But the truth is, you can choose. Remember, you can change the lens. Now, something that might be showing up for you right now is that your mind might be saying, well, okay, I can label the thoughts and I can choose not to act on them, but I'm still left with the feelings. So this is where learning to tolerate discomfort, to sit with difficult feelings comes in. And it is possible. And the more you practice tolerating or sitting with difficult emotions, the less power these thinking patterns have over you. And I have a video just on dealing with difficult emotions, so go and check it out. So that brings us to the end of this video. And as I've gone through these different thinking patterns, have any resonated with you? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.